China has accused the United States of provoking new economic and trade frictions, as it responded to U.S. President Donald Trump's claims that Beijing had violated a trade truce agreed by the two nations last month, which paused their blistering tariff war. China was strictly implementing the consensus of those trade talks, the Chinese Commerce Ministry said in a statement Monday. While blaming the U.S. for taking steps that seriously undermine the agreement, the United States has been unilaterally provoking new economic and trade frictions, exacerbating the uncertainty and instability of bilateral economic and trade relations. The statement said, if the United States insists on its own way and continues to undermine China's interests, China will continue to take resolute and forceful measures to safeguard its legitimate rights and interests. It added, the comments come after Trump on Friday said China had totally violated its agreement with us. In a post on Truth Social, the U.S. president said that he made a fast deal with China to save them from what I thought was going to be a very bad situation. He added, so much for being Mr. Nice Guy. The back-and-forth spotlights are ratcheting up of tensions between the U.S. and China, just weeks after the two sides reached the surprise trade truce in Geneva, which significantly dialed down the hefty tariffs that each imposed on the other in April. That agreement gave the two sides a 90-day window to hash out a broader deal, an effort that now appears imperiled as each side accuses the other of working against the spirit of that agreement. U.S. officials have described talks as stalled and suggested that the involvement of Trump and Chinese leader Xi Jinping is needed to jumpstart progress. A key point of contention has been Beijing's export controls on rare earth minerals and associated products, which were imposed as part of its retaliation against Trump's reciprocal tariffs on Chinese goods. Following the talks, U.S. officials had expected China to ease export restrictions of those minerals, which are an essential part of everything, from iPhones and electric vehicles to big-ticket weapons like F-35 fighter jets and missile systems. But the restrictions haven't been lifted, causing intense displeasure inside the Trump administration. In prompting a recent series of measures imposed on China, 3 administration officials told CNN last week. Meanwhile, Beijing accused the U.S. last month of undermining the consensus reached in Geneva, after Washington warned companies against using AI chips made by its national tech champion. In a further escalation of tensions, the U.S. then last week also moved to limit critical technology sales to China and restrict the number of Chinese students studying in the U.S., spotlighting how the scope of their competition is much broader than just trade.